Welcome to Open Court Cases. Today, a woman begs the judge to release the man who broke her finger, but seconds later, he admits something shocking that flips the entire case.
These were unfortunate situations, and I believe that the defendant can learn from this, and I believe he can be rehabilitated. I would ask the court to consider as a sentence probation, community service. If there's jail time, I would ask the court to consider work release to allow the defendant to work to start his new job, or to consider weekends that would allow him to work. Thank you.
Ms. Maston, would you come up, please? Thank you for being here. Are you Amanda Maston?
I am.
And you're the complainant in this matter, and it's alleged that these things happened over a period of time in January. My sense from reading the report and reading the affidavit of probable cause is that this wasn't a one-time thing, but a pattern of discord and abuse. You broke your finger, and I wanted to know, among other things, whether you had unpaid medical expenses. So what would you like me to know?
Sorry. Yes, my finger did get broke.
Now, as you're sitting here right now, it's March 2nd. You've got a cast or a brace on your finger. Is that as a result of this injury in January?
They had to put a pin in my finger last Wednesday. Had they not put the pin in, the tip of my finger would not extend straight, and I wouldn't be able to use the tip of my finger. And I work a lot, so I need my hands to work.
Okay. Go ahead.
The way that the report is written from the officer, it's not accurate. There's flaws in it. Like, I need him home. Like, I understand, like, everybody makes mistakes in their life, but like, it was partially my fault too. But like, I can't shower, I'm not supposed to drive. Like, I need him home.
Because of the injury to your hand? You can't shower because of that?
But I can't get it wet at all. So
Can't
like,
you put a bag over it or something?
yes, but like, I still need some help. Like,
Okay.
I still have kids to take care of as well.
How many kids are in the home?
Two. Well, one's 19 and one's 16.
And where do you work?
Right now, I'm not working.
Where did you work?
McDonald's.
Did you have to take off work as a result of this?
No, I worked through it.
He's been living in Buchanan?
Yeah.
All right. He had some methamphetamine issues in the fairly recent past. Is methamphetamine a pink elephant in the room here?
No.
Methamphetamine's not an issue presently?
No.
How about alcohol?
No.
Well, let me read what you told the police, or at least what they put in the report. Amanda Maston was identified verbally and interviewed in the interview room at Three Rivers Police Department. On January 11th, she was in an altercation with Wellington. She was trying to leave for work and asked Wellington for the car keys. He was not being cooperative, and she thought they were in his book bag. She grabbed the bag, and Wellington tried to rip the bag from her, and the force threw her and the book bag to the ground. She explained that her finger was in the loop when he threw the bag, and she did not let go. She landed face first on the porch with the book bag After she fell, Wellington told her the keys were upstairs by the TV on the counter. Wellington drove her to the hospital in Dowagiac to seek treatment from the injury, so she could not tell the story of what happened. She stated the hand specialist asked further questions about the situation, and that's where the referral came from. She had her medical records and handed them over. She advised that on January 21st, Wellington assaulted her again. She stated that she was sleeping. She woke up to Wellington calling her a liar and a cheater. She believed that if he believed that, he could leave. She was trying to get up and leave the room, and he was not letting her pass. She stated when she tried to move past him, he tackled her on the bed and pinned her down. She explained that he had a hold of her neck with one hand holding it down and proceeded to show me a bruise under her ear on her neck. The bruise was consistent with a thumbprint. She continued to state that she blacked out after that due to the anxiety of the situation. She felt she could not breathe due to pillows and blankets on the bed, not from being choked. She advised she then noticed a long red mark on her chest that was not there until the incident of the 23rd. She believed that when she blacked out, Wellington must have caused that red mark. Masson advised that the physical assaults are getting more frequent and happening once a week. This is your house, and he was living there. He has a previous domestic assault charge, and neither of those incidents involve drugs or alcohol. All right, Mr. Wellington, what do you want me to know?
I've never hit her. I promise. The most I've ever done was calm her down. She got angry at me once and went to snatch the phone, and that's when I held her down. Like, I've never hit her. I promise. I've not gonna assault her in any way.
Well, you entered these two pleas. Do you want me to continue to proceed to sentence?
Can I be honest with you?
Yes.
I didn't know how it was going to turn out. Yes, I did snatch the book bag out of her hand.
All right, which resulted in her finger getting broken?
Yes.
Okay, well, that one's pretty good. All right. The other one, you're saying you were actually holding her down, but that is an impermissive touching. Do you want to continue your plea to these two misdemeanors?
I don't want to get. My luck is I'll take the trial and something's going to happen where I don't know, and I'm facing 7.5 years.
Yes, that are felony charges. She says you assault her once a week, that you're angry all the time, and that she's in an abusive, assaultive relationship. Certainly, she got a significant injury to her hand. But you are correct. The prosecutor dismissed the felony charge for a plea to the misdemeanors, and that's.
And my first domestic was my ex-wife wouldn't let me leave the house, so I moved her out of the way, and she called her sister.
Well, that was 13 years ago.
Yes, Your Honor.
Abigail, what's the prosecutor's input here?
I would object to the defendant withdrawing his plea. I believe there needs.
Well, I'm not sure he's asking to. You're not asking to withdraw the plea, are you?
No, Your Honor.
All right, go ahead. But if he did, you would object.
Well, I guess then my sentencing recommendation would be, Your Honor, so this was reduced from a felony to a misdemeanor. The defendant does have a prior domestic violence conviction. It's clear that he's not taken any accountability. He told the officer during his interview that he's never hit a woman, and told you just now that he's never hit a woman. And Clearly, that's not the case. He has a domestic violence prior. She's sitting here a month later with her fingers still in a brace. The officer also noted after the second assault that she had bruising on her throat in the shape of a thumbprint. I guess I would recommend at least 21 days in jail as well as a lengthier probation. I would recommend 24 months. Thank you.
Tell me about your job at American Axle. Is it with PTI, the aftermarket place in there?
Yes, quality control.
What's it called?
Quality, the position is quality inspector. I mean, sorry. She called me Friday or Thursday with the phone interview.
Is this through a temp agency?
Oh, I have no idea. I'm not familiar with.
Well, how'd you get hired? Did you apply?
I filled out tons of applications.
Okay.
I don't know who that email. He showed me it on his phone. It's on his phone. What is it? Says Jessica Beck, AANTI.
I'll be reporting to Zachary Helm. Oh, okay. PTI.
Oh yeah, it's PTI. Yeah, PTI. Is that a temp agency, PTI?
No, he got arrested on the 23rd and he bonded on the 29th. So he's done 6 days in jail. I'm going to do a 24-month probation, which means you can be discharged at the end of 12 months. Or 10 days jail credit 6. And we'll do the other days on weekends. Fine is 0. There's a $75 crime victims' rights fee and a $50 state minimum fee, $150 attorney fee, $960 probation oversight fee, and you're to pay for the class. I'm putting you in the full domestic violence class. There's something going on here, and I don't know that I got to the bottom of it. My fear is that there's a methamphetamine component that I'm not picking up on. If I give you a test right now, what would it show?
Probably positive.
For meth?
Yeah.
All right, well, you're going to stop using it. I think meth is underlying this. We're going to get a test to figure out what's in there, and then we're going to get it to 0. No assaultive or threatening behavior, to abstain from the use of any drugs and alcohol, including marijuana. I'm going to have you go to the day reporting center today and test. If you're positive for meth or marijuana today, I'm not going to lock you up. But I want to figure out what your benchmark is. I appreciate your candor. The methamphetamine is still lurking in the background. Do you have to take a test, a urine test, a drug test to get hired?
I'm not sure.
I don't know. We'll find out about that. I got a year hang over your head, and you did 6 days. The no contact provision is lifted, so you can get back together. You can't engage in any assaultive or threatening behavior. I'm just going to lock you up. I think you're gaslighting her. I think there's more going on here. You're saying, I'm just calming her down. You got anger issues. And you're minimizing it. So I can always flip the switch and just give you 90 or 365 days in jail. But I want you to do our domestic assault class. No assaultive or threatening behavior. Abstain from all alcohol and prohibited controlled substances. I want you to go to the day reporting center as soon as you leave here. Do you know where it is in Three Rivers?
No, I can GPS it. If you
It's on South Main Street, just south of downtown on the right-hand side. We'll let them know you're coming.
Yeah. Okay, wait a second.
Do you have any money with you?
No, sir.
Well, we'll figure that out. Let's add up what you do owe. You have been making payments on your other stuff. You also got a speeding ticket earlier this month, but you had some other unpaid stuff and you've been making payments as recently as February. You've paid on your other stuff. So let's 125 plus 150 plus 960 plus should have paid for the class 1235. I think I may have some bond money in here. Let's take a look. I have $500 of bond. I will use bond money for first DRC test. So if you do this in 6 months or 12 months, it'll be reduced in half to 480. So take 480 off of that, and you got $500 of bond. So you're not going to owe that much money, but I'm going to save some of this bond money to pay for your first test at the day reporting center. So I want you to go out to the counter. I'll get you started as a probationer. You're allowed to have contact. You're allowed to move back in together. No drugs, no alcohol. And I think you're gaslighting me too. I think you know there's a methamphetamine problem and you were afraid to tell me that. If we can deal with that, maybe we can deal with the rest of it. You're going to owe 2 weeks. We got time to fit that in. Main thing is I want to get you clean. If we can't, we can compel that with a jail sentence. But mostly, I don't want any assaultive or threatening behavior. She wants you back in the home. She needs your help. She needs you clean and sober, and so do these boys that are living in the house. So you take this out to the counter, and I want you to go to the day reporting center. We need to let DRC know that Mr. Wellington is coming before noon. We'll get a benchmark test and see how we're doing.